My wife was happy about our divorce, but when her sister showed up 2 days later, everything changed. At first, I thought the smile on my wife's face was just relief, the kind that comes after months of arguments and sleepless nights. She packed her things quickly, humming to herself as if she had been waiting for this moment. I left the house quietly, thinking that maybe ending our marriage was the only thing we had managed to agree on. 2 days later, I returned to pick up the last few boxes I had left in the garage. Expecting the house to be empty, I stepped inside and froze. Sitting on the couch, legs crossed and eyes fixed on me, was her younger sister, Aisha. She wasn't smiling. In fact, she looked angrier than I had ever seen her. I hadn't spoken to her in months. She had always been protective of my wife, sometimes overly so, but the tension in the room felt different, heavier. Before I could say anything, Aisha stood up and walked toward me. "You think she's happy, don't you?" she said quietly, her voice trembling. "You think she wanted this?" I blinked, confused. Of course she wanted the divorce. She had said it 100 times. But Aisha shook her head. "She said that because she didn't want to look weak. She's been crying since you left." Her words hit harder than I expected. I had imagined my wife celebrating her freedom, not breaking down after the door closed behind me. Aisha explained that she had come to stay with her sister because she was worried. According to her, my wife had stopped eating, stopped sleeping, and kept replaying every fight in her head, blaming herself for everything. The cheerful humming I had heard wasn't happiness, it was panic. I followed Aisha to the kitchen, where she showed me a stack of unopened messages on my wife's phone and a half-written letter she never sent. In the letter, my wife admitted she still loved me but felt she was becoming a burden. She wrote that she pretended to be happy so I wouldn't feel guilty. Reading her words felt like someone squeezing my chest. All this time, I had thought I was giving her peace. Instead, I had given her heartbreak. A sudden knock at the door startled both of us. My wife walked in carrying groceries, her eyes widening the moment she saw me standing there. She froze, and for a moment, none of us spoke. Then she whispered my name, her voice cracking. The mask of strength she had worn for the past week slipped away instantly, and tears filled her eyes. I stepped closer, unsure if she would push me away or collapse into my arms. She didn't do either. Instead, she wiped her face quickly and tried to smile. "You forgot your things," she said softly, avoiding my gaze. But it was too late, the truth was already out. I told her I had read the letter, and she broke down completely, covering her face with her hands as she cried. We sat together on the living room floor, talking for the first time without anger, without pride, without pretending. She told me she had never wanted the divorce. She just didn't know how to fix what was broken between us. I admitted that I had felt the same. All the misunderstandings, the distance, the silence. It had built up until divorce felt like the only escape. By the time the sun began to set, we both knew something had shifted. Maybe we hadn't solved everything that day, but we understood each other in a way we hadn't in years. Aisha watched us from the doorway, arms crossed but smiling for the first time. She didn't say anything, but she didn't need to. Everything had changed because she refused to let us walk away from each other, without the truth. And that was the day our divorce stopped feeling like an ending and started feeling like a second chance.